A very good day to you. My name is Wambui Daniel, and today I want to explain to you my Supertrend strategy. I'm going to use the time frame H4. The instruments that I'm going to look at is gold and HK50. You can try it on any other currency pairs. I'm going to use the indicators, Supertrend and fractals, and I'm also going to explain how Supertrend works. So you see here we have the red arrow and the red line. So where does the arrow come in? The arrow shows you at what point this line changed from green to red. So when this arrow comes and this arrow is there and the candle has closed, then it means that's where the line changed. So tells you we've gone into a sell trend. When you come to the buy trend, you see the line here on this end was red. So the blue arrow shows you after this candle closed, this is where the line changed color from red to green. So that's how you're going to use it. The fractals are these small arrow. They're arrows. They look like arrows, but very tiny. And we're going to use them to set stop loss and trailing stop loss. So I'm just going to explain to you. It's not very complicated. You just have to practice over and over again. So let's go to the chart. So how do I use it? So let me make it bigger. You can see like here, we have a blue arrow and a candle that has closed because now you have to wait for this candle to close because this arrow can appear and disappear until the candle closes. So once the candle closes, it will permanently be there. So what do? I just wait for another candle body to close above that arrow, or rather the candle that has an arrow. So you can see the candle next to it, it's a wick that closed above it. But now after that, there's this whole big candle that came after. So what will I have done? I will have entered after this candle has closed. This one. I will have put my stop loss a bit far because I can see the fractal is here. So I don't argue with this strategy because you see it's a trending strategy. Even if the stop loss is a bit far, it might trend for an entire week to weeks to months, and sometimes it's going to kick you out because it's the strategy. So I will enter after this candle because it closed above the candle with an arrow. I will put my stop loss maybe like 40 pips below the fractal. Then as the market goes up, I'll go trailing, not very close because you don't want it to kick you out very fast. I'll go trailing with this. So the fractal. So it means if I was trailing with this fractal and that fractal I'd have been kicked out by this, but then I would have re-entered. So how do we re-enter? You wait after you're kicked out because this kicked you out. If your stop loss, you had trailed to this point. So you wait for another fractal or another candle to close above. You see, we are going up. So the fractals on the top are like resistances. The fractals on the bottom, they are like support. So you want another candle to close above the current resistance, and the current resistance being this fractal here. So we will have re-entered again after this candle closed above it. Put our stop loss here, then let it go. So this is how I have managed to be on the trend, the buy trend of gold for some time. Let me show you. This trend started, where are you? Here. This trend started here. So I put a straight line because I like putting a straight line above this candle that has an arrow. I have to enter. I will not have entered all the way because I need a green candle closing above this point. So let's say I put the point let me just use a straight line like that. So this candle almost closed above, but it's a red candle. You can't enter. Not almost. It started above, then went down. But you cannot enter it with the red candle and you're looking to enter buy. So I waited for this candle to close above it. I didn't know, because that's why I'm saying you have to wait. So I entered right after this candle closed there. I put my stop loss below the fractal. Right, this is the fractal, so below it. Then I now start trailing the fractal, not very near. So I trailed all the way, somewhere there. I trailed, came up to there. I continued trailing all the way here, and it kicked me out. It kicked me out with this. Then there was a small sell happening there. I put my straight line again to see if a candle closes, a candle body closed below that. So I want to see, yes, it closed slightly below. So I made a sell entry, put my stop loss here, but this one was kicked out because it turned, but it's okay. So as I was kicked out, then I took the buy here and went all the way. So that's how I have been trending. So a few things you need to note. Whenever you see the arrow and the candle has closed, you're gonna have to wait for another buy candle to close above, and it has to be a body. The candle closes with a body above the candle with the arrow. Then you make your entry and you put your stop loss in the near the fractal, the last fractal you can see below, because if it's a buy, when it's a buy, the stop loss is below the entry price. When it's a sell, the stop loss is above. So let's go and see a sell trend. Here is one. The candle with an arrow. We wait for another candle to close below it. You see now this one was right immediate. There are some that's going to take time. So it closed with a body. So we entered after that candle. Yeah. We put our stop loss a bit far. This one was a bit far above this fractal, like 40 pips above, or just give it some space. And I think I will have given it some space like that. And we went down. We kept trailing our stop loss. Trailed there. We were kicked out there. So you can either decide you're gonna get out after a risk to reward of 1 is to maybe 2 or 3, or you can flow with the strategy all the way till it stops trending. Or you can have like a couple of positions, small positions, so that you don't multiply your risk. You decide one position I'm going to enter and it's going to go all the way. The other position I'm going to exit after maybe it's 1:2, and maybe another small position 1:3. Or you can just put one position. There's also the part where if you want to take more risk, because now that becomes a bit risky, if the market is trending, it can be your friend. This what the risk I'm saying. If it's not trending, it can kick you out very fast. So what do I mean? So you made your first entry after this candle. This one closed above the one with an arrow, and you have to make sure the line is green. If it turns red, then you're no longer looking for a buy. So you entered here. So then what happens? I've said these fractals are acting like support and resistances. So you can go drawing small straight lines, and if another candle breaks or closes above those fractal, you add another position. So you will have added another position after this, because this candle closed above this candle with a fractal. You add position, you put your stop loss here. But when you do that, make sure the first entry is on a positive. Okay. So when you do that, where you're going to put your stop loss, you also trail and put these other stop loss you had put there. So you're trailing, you're adding, but your stop losses are going the same up. So you'll have entered again after this candle because it closed above this fractal. So now you enter and put all the stop losses. Now you have 3 trades running. Then you'll have entered again after this candle because it has closed above this fractal. So now all the stop losses, sorry, it's very hard to do these drawings with MT5. That's why sometimes I prefer TradingView, but there's no Supertrend on TradingView, this particular one. So you'll have entered after this, you'll have entered here because it closed above the fractal, so all the stop losses will have come here. You'll also have entered after this candle because it closed above the fractal, so all the stop losses, including that here. You see, you are having so many trades running right now. This one closed above this fractal, same place. You would have entered here. That one closed above the fractal. The stop loss is still there. You'll have entered here. Since this candle closed above this fractal, the stop loss is still here because there's no other fractal here. Then when these fractals came, you will have trailed all the stop losses there, somewhere around there. Then you will have entered again on this because it has closed above this fractal. So all the stop losses again there. And no other place. You saw these fractals, you will have trailed, and now you will have been kicked out. So if you go and check how many trades have you had, and also it depends, you need to have a lot of patience. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You went up with 10 trades. The last one might not have given you money. This one actually lost you some few coins, but all the other 9 gave you a lot of money. And that's a very good risk to reward. And remember, this is gold. So even if you're going to do like a sell trend, but gold has for some time it has had buy bias. But when the market looks something like this, it is really going to play with your emotions. So if you find this strategy and the market starts ranging like this, you might think that it's a bad strategy, but it's not. That's why you have to really look into risk management. Don't go in full margin or having some false thinking that it's always going to win. But you see, this really lost me some money at some point. But you can see you made some money here. Put your entry after this candle closed. Here, the arrow, a candle body closed. You've made some good money there. You've even added some positions. You didn't make money with this sell here. You made some money here. You didn't enter. You see, now the good thing about this is, for example, in this candle, you put your straight line. And for you to enter sell, you needed a sell candle to close below, which it did not. So it turned and went into a buy, and this candle has the arrow, then this candle closed above this candle, so you'll have made an entry. So I'm gonna make a very simple trading plan for this. Then maybe you can try and follow, see if it's something you can work with. Thank you.